Ojambo. In this live stream, I'm going to show you why I decided to use manual fan control instead of the automated or even my own custom script, especially when I'm running AI models, whether it's for generating video or generating just running any AI, for example, the chat AIs. So earlier today, I did a review of this generative AI DeepSeek R1 32B model. Now, one of the, I'm going to guess it's a subscriber, he said that this particular model was a thinking model, so it's going to obviously use more processing, the GPU processing. Now, as I also said earlier, my actual what I actually wanted to do was to run the Llama 4. I think it just came out this year. I wanted to actually run it, so I wanted to run the 17B. 17B B is for the parameter. So I thought that would work fine. Everything I searched said that it should work, but what I found out was that it actually wants 35 gigs of RAM, just RAM, not even the GPU, just RAM. So the problem is, let me show you my system here. I'll tell you what the problem is. So with my system, make this here. So the problem with my system is that, I'll show you my system. This is the one I meant. See, I'm running Fedora 42, Linux 42 workstation. That means it's GNOME. You see, I have the AMD 5600 GT with the Radeon graphics, and I also have AMD Instinct MI60. So as you can see, I do have two. You see, to say here, there's two GPUs. So that's one. So that's the reason. I'm also using Wayland. So the subscriber also asked why I wasn't using something like OpenWeb UI. I tried multiple ways to install it, but I wasn't able to successfully install it because it was hard-coded to download something which is a NVIDIA specific. So when I was doing research, I found out that I can tweak it and prevent it from running the that NVIDIA specific whatever the download was. The problem was that usually the web UIs, I think every time you run them, they do an auto update. So that means that every single time I would have to, go and tweak it again. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to deal with that. So because I might forget, let's say there hasn't been an update now, I might forget, why is it not working? So I have to remember all that. So I didn't want to bother. So I decided, you know what, maybe it's time to just start create my own UI. So that's what that tutorial earlier today was about. So the real reason I wanted to show you this is, see, this is the system monitor or task manager, and you can see I have 6 cores and obviously 12 threads. So the memory here is a problem. I have 32 gigs of RAM. However, I don't have the usable RAM is not really 32. Here's why. Remember that integrated graphics? So it reserves 4 gigs of RAM. So what that means is that 32, it reserves 4 gigs of them. So that means that I'm already starting at 28 gigs of memory. Now, the reason it says 29.3 here is because it's actually using about 1.5. So it kind of pretends that it's giving back the 1.5, but that's not usable. So it's really, we're starting with 28 gigs of RAM. Now, we don't even have 28 gigs of RAM. The reason for that is because I'm also using part of that RAM for normal stuff. For example, I have this LibreWolf open here. I have OBS open in another window. That's why I'm doing the live stream here. And obviously, I have Firefox open up where I'm, where I'm doing this live stream for the chatting. And I might have some other things open, which you'll see in a second. I'm going to have a bunch of applications open. Now, all those applications, including OBS, they don't take up too many resources. I'm going to guess maybe a gig or less. However, remember I said I'm using Fedora. So for what Fedora does, I'm going to jump to the command line very briefly. Actually, I don't want to jump to the command line here. I'll jump to the command line here just to show you. Yeah, this is a better one. I'll jump to the command line here and I'll run some commands just to show you what's going on here. So let's clean this up. Clear. So I do have, if I type df space -h, I'm going to zoom in here. So you see here I have this temp fs. So that is also using, I think, I can't remember how it is. It's 6 gigs. It's probably using 6. I might have increased it recently, but it's using about 6 gigs of the RAM. So it's a temp file. So it uses the RAM to speed things up, because some applications they benefit from staying in RAM because I have enough RAM. So then again, so with that 6, now remember we had the 28. So really, it's more like 22 with this 2 gigs given back to us, maybe 24 gigs of RAM. Really, it's more like, remember I said then all the applications open, it's more like 23 is what I really have usable RAM. Now the problem with that, if I try to load a model, is that it's not going to I really only have, I said, about 22 usable RAM. Now that's not a good. I can't fill all that up because that's not very smart. So basically, what I'm trying to say, I should give myself a little wiggle room. I should really use actually even less. So maybe something like maybe 17, 18 gigs of RAM for the model will be perfect. So now I know that the parameter size is not an indicator of how much memory, because for example, I was able to run this 32 parameter model and it fit perfectly. It wasn't using up the CPU, the memory was still perfect fine. So it also depends on how optimized the models are. So I prefer using optimized models. I'm okay waiting, because if the answer is accurate or good, for example, I'm okay with that. So some people are very impatient. For example, when they're generating the images or video, they want it done like in seconds. I'm okay waiting, because I know also with experience is that if you wait a little bit, the quality will be better, at least. So I'm willing to wait. So I want to show you this folder where I put all these things. I explained this earlier today. So I have an extra partition here because I have a bunch of enterprise level SSDs. So what I did was this partition was not, or this drive wasn't being used. So I repurposed it and I just called it AI. So what I did was this NCT6687, that's a driver for the sensor that allows me on Linux to control the fan shroud. So if you remember, the AMD Instinct MI60 it's a server card. I think it was used most likely for crypto mining. So it didn't come with a cooling. It didn't come with any cooling system. It's just a card. So if you just plug it into your computer, it's going to heat up because it also uses 300 watts. It's just going to heat up, and it probably could melt your motherboard or something. So you need, I mean, if you have enough cooling in there, you can probably get away with it. So I decided to get a 3D printed shroud, and I think I have some photos here. Let me see if I still have those photos. I think they're in downloads. I'll show you what it actually looks like. AMD, yeah, here we go. So this is the card. This is exactly what the card looks like. You see here, there's no cooling system at all. Let me see if there's any other photos. So that's, yeah, you can see this is literally the card. There is no cooling at all. So oops, those images are, yeah, here's somebody holding it up. Oh, I drew this picture. I made this picture. Windows overheating. And did I take any pic? Oh, here's the fan shroud. So this is what the fan shroud looks like. You see the fan is included. That's how I bought it off eBay. So the fan goes in here and it just mounts and it will blow the air right through the card. This is another picture. Yeah, so this is what the fan looks like. It's a 40mm fan, and you see this just appends right to the fan, so it'll blow right through it from the what do you call it? The front to out to the back of the GPU. Now, by default, when you do use this Shroud, what I noticed in the BIOS was like it was running at max. It was running at about 15,000 RPMs. It was extremely loud. It felt like a jet engine taking off right in the room. It was extremely loud. So I experimented and I found that I set to 5,000, and then I realized, okay, the temperature is still steady, so I dropped it down to 3,000. There was a little whine which is annoying me, so I dropped it to below 2,000, and I found that 2,300 is probably very good. However, because of the way I have to use the fan profile with the mouse, it's not very I can't fine tune it. But with this program I download, I'm able to fine tune it to the way exactly the way I want it to be. So we'll go back here. So unfortunately, I don't know if it's a Fedora thing or a Linux thing. This driver, the 6687, the sensors were not available. And I know in Windows, MSI gives you something called fan control or whatever it is, so you can control it with some software. But Linux, that wasn't available. So the driver it wants to use is the 6683. The problem is 6683, it doesn't allow fan control. So what I did is I found on GitHub, somebody created a driver. I think the what do you call it? The reverse engineered some things to find it, so that's perfectly fine. So what I did is I compiled it, and I also compiled it using DKMS, so this way anytime my kernel updates, I don't have to go and recompile it or automatically recompile. So that was pretty simple, just a git clone and then just make, and that's done. So then what I did next was I tried to run Easy Diffusion. That one I want to download some old version of Rocom. So I thought, okay, maybe because I'm in a Podman container. So when I did it also locally, I did the same thing. Then I got rid of that. I tried Automatic 111. I'd also same thing. It wants to download an old version of Rocom. At this time when I was doing this testing, I had Rocom 6.3 and wanted to download 5.7. Don't know why. And then so I found SDNext. So SDNext was able to use the Fedora 6.3, so I was happy with that one. And then until I wanted to do video, and I realized SDNext, the video, they didn't do that. Oh, no. So the problem was the models were extremely large. Even the smallest one, it was still too large. It would just crash. So that annoyed me. So I found ComfyUI. ComfyUI has been perfect. Because when I did research, a lot of people with very low spec hardware are able to run video. So that's why I decided ComfyUI. But it did crash a few times doing live streams. So what I decided to do was get the fans. I checked the fan and I found out that the temperature goes really, really fast. So as you guys know, I do have I created a service here for systemd. I also created a script here. So it's supposed to measure it's supposed to check the fan speed, not the fan speed, the temperature of the GPU, and then automatically ramp up the GPU. However, as I said, when I was testing, actually today, when I was testing this DeepSeek R1 in Alma, oh my god, the temperature jumped so quickly, there's no way my script will be able to pick up. So when I was testing this, I decided that I think anytime I run anytime I run AI, I'll just set it to 50%. That's about 8,000 ish RPMs, and that's good enough. So at least because when I'm there, if it's creeping up in the 80s, I can bump it up even higher, and that seems to work extremely well. So with that said, now I got this application called CoolerControl. You see, I got the app image. So it's basically the daemon, and then it's a web UI. I prefer that one, and I'll show you the website. I'm going to pull it up right now. So the website for this is called CoolerControl.org. So I made a mistake last time I did a video like this because I said it's cross-platform. I was wrong. It's only for Linux. Obviously, most likely because if you're using other platforms, operating systems, you have alternatives. You have a lot of alternatives. So as you can see here, there's a daemon and web UI. This is the one that I did use. You can see there's a whole bunch of stuff, system sensors. You can set your own profiles. As I said, I prefer the manual for the fan shroud. So as you can see here, I looked through this, and it's very basic. It's very simple to understand, and yeah. It even has an API, so I could probably use it as well, but there's no need to. I already know how to do everything myself. So that's Cooler. It's called CoolerControl. They do have a GitHub page as well. That's where I say you can see here. It's the app image. That's the one that I did. So basically, I just downloaded the app image, and I just changed the permission to make it executable. Unfortunately, you have to run it as in a sudo user or the root user. That's because some of the things it needs are specific to the root user. That's a little bit unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But I said it works fine for me. I'm willing to do that. It's perfectly fine. I said I could also use my script, but this is a simple way to change the particular fan shroud. Okay, so to run this, as I said before, let me show you the folder. Here is the folder. I think I put this up here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I'll clear this. So it's very simple. You just do sudo and then the name of the file. You see it's CoolerControl, and I put in my super secure password, and then you see, just wait. You see it found the microstar. It's international MSI. So you see it tells you the IP address. It's not the IP address. So it says it could go to 127.0.0.1, and then it says the colon 1197. So that's what we do here. Just 127 and 1197. There we go. And you see, boom, there it is. Now it has a whole bunch of stuff here. Because I said the case has 6 fans. It came with 1 fan. I added about 5 new fans, all because of the GPU. Then obviously the CPU itself has its own cooler, and the fan hooks up into a dedicated one on the motherboard. And then I repurposed a water cooler, what do you call pins. I repurposed that for one of the case fans, and then I put the fan shroud there. So basically, I'm not going to count the CPU fan. So the case, because the other fans are very similar. So basically, the 6 case fans, they're all 120 millimeter, and the fan shroud, which is 40. So that's 7 fans. So majority of those 7 fans actually help cool the AMD Instinct MI60. All right, now I didn't have time today to set up the 4K, so I don't know what this is. I said I don't really care about any of this stuff. Like the CPU temperature is 45, Now, when I'm rendering, like for example, rendering video, it does go up to about 55 or so. The funny thing is, as I said 2 days ago, I visited a website and it actually got the CPU to go up to 71 degrees. I've never seen the CPU temperature go up to 71 degrees. I don't know what they're doing there. Maybe they've been compromised and there's some crypto going on. I've never seen like JavaScript. That must be really bad JavaScript. I'm wondering what site that is. I'm actually afraid to check out that site. Maybe I'll start a series of badly programmed websites, and that would be one of them. Okay, what else is here? So so we don't need the CPU stuff. You can see actually very nice power load there. So we don't need the CPU here because this is using in the BIOS. I set up to use a automatic fan profile, so I don't care about that one. This one you see here, this is the dedicated GPU. We'll come back to this in a second, and you see this is the integrated GPU. How do I know this is the integrated GPU? Well, very simple. Number one is it has the temperature here of 37 degrees, and there's a very low GPU load. And this one is a dedicated one. You see there's zero GPU load right now. That's because it's not being used. So that's how it's a simple way to know that that's not being used. The integrated one is being used because it's plugged into I plugged in two monitors, the 1080p and the 4K monitor. So that's what. And below that we have the. Let me collapse that one. So we have this one. I'm surprised it had a fan. This is a Wi-Fi card that's a leftover from the old workstation, which didn't have a Wi-Fi card, so I just grabbed that one, and this motherboard didn't come with one, so I just grabbed it from there and put it here. So I'm actually surprised it has a fan. Okay, I don't think, no, sorry, it doesn't have a fan. I think it just has a temperature sensor, so that's actually pretty nice. I don't need that one as well. When can I close that? And here's the NCT6687. So what I care about here is, I don't care about any of those thermostats, whatever. The one I care about, actually, I found out that I could probably use one of these thermostats or create my own, and then that way I could create my own fan profile in the BIOS that will check the temperature of the GPU, and then I could set the fan profile there. That might be a nice project to do, but I don't think that's necessary right now. So the one the one I care about the most is this one, fan 4. You see you see it says default profile. That means automatic. It's set automatic in the BIOS. I can change it here as well, but I said they work fine. Auto is fine. The one I care about is this one here, fan 4. You see it has a high RPM. It's set to 2870. So I'm going to click on that one, fan 4, and you can see here it's 2884 RPM, and it's 2%. So this is what we're going to pay attention to. So when I do any AI stuff, I'll need to bump this up to a high number. So there's other stuff in here. You see the CPU fan, the system fan. So obviously it's system. So one thing I don't understand is fan 4 is also down here. It's a system fan 2. It's the same thing. You see, yeah, it's super weird. I don't know why the naming convention is like that. I don't know what it's called. I guess this is the official names, and I guess this is just a simple name. But okay, they're the same thing. So I'll just use this one. Why can't I close? Okay, it's not. Okay, there we go. Fine. All right. So this is the one we'll care about. So all we're going to pay attention to is the temperature here. When this temperature goes up, we ramp it up to 50%, which is about 8,000 RPM, and that I found that to be the best setting to do anything. So with that said, I did run some I ran some tests earlier today. If you guys remember, we did all this earlier today. I showed you how to install. I didn't have time to install another model. Maybe I should have done that before I started this live stream. So these were the answers. I was actually very surprised with the answers it gave me. So one of the things I didn't run in the live stream earlier today was this one, which was what is the capital of Canada? So let me see if it is. I want to make sure. Oh yeah, I do have. I still have it. So I'll just say what is the capital of Canada, and obviously it's Ottawa. But one of the things I noticed with the big models is that they do a lot of thinking, so that slows them down a little bit, and I don't know if they're thinking for a more accurate answer. So I dislike that. I wish when they're thinking, they should ask questions, right? So if they ask questions, then I can point them in the right direction. I don't want them. One thing I dislike about AI is they like to make things up instead of requesting, for example, if I'm going somewhere and I get lost, I will ask for directions, right? I think any normal person will do that. But the AI, it will just think that it's correct. It will not ask for any question. That's one thing I dislike. So it also makes it annoying because that's an easy way for it to learn. But I guess the way AI, it's not really AI. I'll explain what I mean by that. So when I was a young lad, I was told that intelligence means two things. It means that knowledge is passed on to you. For example, like you don't know anything, I teach you something. Then you can go and take that knowledge I've taught you and teach it to somebody else. That's intelligence. So for example, like a monkey. You can get a monkey or you can get a dog, you can teach them some tricks. See, the monkey or the dog, they cannot go and teach others, not even humans. Like the dog's not going to teach another dog what you taught it. The monkey's not going to teach other monkeys what you taught it. So that's why the intelligence part doesn't exist. There could be a very smart dog, a very smart monkey. That's the difference. But you see, with humans, we have that. I'll give you an example. I remember I watched my friend's kids. They were babies. And one of them had been taught something, like literally I was watching, and immediately she went and she was teaching the other babies what she has just learned. So that's intelligence. Even though she couldn't speak, she probably didn't know what she was doing. That's intelligence. Now, I think what people get confused with is mimicry. Just because, for example, like even a baby, when you start talking, the baby just repeats what you say. That's not intelligence, that's just mimicry. That's another thing I think what AI does. It just mimics what it was told, so that's not intelligence. I think that's why people confuse these things. Now, to be fair, I do like the art, the images, the video. I do like that part. But the conversation stuff, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed because, I'm really not impressed with that. I think it's just simple knowledge-based stuff where you can search and find stuff yourself. So that part, I think that's the final frontier for AI, but I don't think that will ever come. I've been waiting for decades. That's never going to come. All right, let's actually go do something here. So I'm going to put this out of the way here. And with the CoolerControl, I'm going to open up a new tab. And I'm not sure what should we do. No, okay, we should. Okay, I'll open up another tab here. I did promise I'm going to continue with the DeepSeek. So we'll go to the, where is it here? Generative AI, Generative AI. Here we go, and we go to DeepSeek. So somebody asked me earlier how I got Ojambo installed. So I'll show you that as well. Let me clean this up as well. Okay, so I'll show you how I got that. Oops. That's not what's supposed to happen. Okay, there we go. So it's in the Fedora repo. So you just do a DNF search, and it's Ojambo. So you can see it does exist. There's Alma, the 64-bit version, it does exist. There's also this Kai chat. I'm really anxious to try this out, but I think I'll stick to my own. I'm kind of tired of all the problems I've had with clients. I'll just do my own client. Okay, so then simply just do sudo dnf install Alma. Obviously, I already have it installed. Yeah, see, it's already been installed. Now, somebody also asked why I don't use systemd. Well, the reason is if I type, for example, systemctl status Alma, you see, there's no service. So the one in the Fedora repos, it's just the application itself. It doesn't come as a service, which is kind of weird because Red Hat was really pushing systemd. So I'm really surprised they didn't make a systemd service for this. But you can create your own. But I'm okay with this. So now to get this started, you can just type Alma. I type serve and then help, so this will give us the for example, you see here the environmental variables. A very important one is, you see, you can change the host. If you remember the IP address and the port number, you can change that. You can also what else can you do here? You can also this is the one I use. See this one here, the Alma models, the path to the model directory. So if you notice, I did change this and I put them in here. I put them in the models folder here because I said this drive was empty, so I decided to repurpose it and use it. So I put them in here. You see all the AI stuff will go in here. The only thing that's not AI, but is really related to AI, is obviously the driver and the cooler, because I'll be running this. These are related. I'll be running it. Oh, just a second. Hi, Ed speaking. Hey, can I call you back? I'm actually in a night live stream. Okay, no problem. Bye. That was a client. Where's here? And the Podman. So the Podman containers were getting really big. So because I had this free partition, I also put them in here for storage. So this will allow me to keep the pods, that's the containers, for a while, so that when some of you request some things, I can keep them for much longer before I delete them. I usually delete them after, just for space concerns, but I'll keep them here. And this is just the virtual Python virtual environment, which I use to run ComfyUI. Surprisingly, this was actually started for sd.next, but it also worked for ComfyUI. So now I tried to use this as well for other, but they failed. So ComfyUI is perfectly fine. I also tried to use this for that Open Web UI. It failed, so I'm just going to keep it for ComfyUI, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so so you just type export underscore models equals, and then the path you want to go. So if you want to do that every single time, you can put it in your bash. So I'll show you mine here. Bash RC, I think it is. Oh, why do I keep on typing that wrong? Here we go. You see down here the Alma model path. I just put it here, export space Alma underscore models, and I put the path. You see it's /mount/AI models. That's why I put that, and that way I don't have to remember that all the time. Nice and simple. All right, and then we can run. So where am I here? Okay, so we need to go. Let's run this model. So I'm going to go. Oh, it's what's the path here? Okay, I'll just copy this. I'll keep the same one. So I will go to cd. Okay, then I'll just type Python generate. Oops, no, I should not actually do that. because I do need to edit this file. Yeah, I do need to edit this file. So what should I use? I'll use the text editor. So I went through this in the earlier tutorial today, so I'm not going to repeat the thing. So you see it's localhost 11437/api.generate, and then the model. So you see the DeepSeek -R1:32B, and then the prompt. Then we tell it to return to us JSON, and then you don't need this part here, but this is for debugging. So I needed this because when I started debugging, I noticed that what happens is it outputs the responses in multiple lines. I'll explain what that means. So for example, if you ask it who is the mayor of Toronto, or what is the capital of Canada, it doesn't just give you the answer. It gives you multiple answers. It's like if you're talking to someone and you say, is that girl pretty? That's one answer. Then I don't know. So that's what it does. It just keeps on spitting out multiple answers. So that's why this was a debug thing. I just print the raw response. That was very helpful to know that it's gonna give multiple answers. So with that, I basically just use a for in loop, and I parse each of them, each line, and then until it's finished, and then that's it. Just print it out. And here's where we can ask the question. You see the last question I asked it was, I need a Blender blend file for file animation. In this case, I'm just going to change this. I'm going to say, what is the capital of Canada? Okay. And of course, we go back here. You see, so that's a CoolerControl. That's not what I want. So here, you just type Alma serve. I like to put the ampersand. The ampersand will let it continue running instead of closing if I press something accidentally. So as you can see here, you see it has API pull. I'm not pulling anything because I already have that. There's a chat, so I can chat with it if I wanted. You can embed. Embeddings, create, push, copy, delete, show, blobs. That's usually for big things like maybe images or media files. And you see the chat completions. There's a lot of API /v1/models, and you can specify the model you want if you have multiple models. I don't think I'll be able to handle, unless they're really small. For example, this one is already too big. So we can look at some of this, and you can see it found the AMD GPU. So it says the ones which are supported, like the GFX 1102. And you see, if we go down here, this GFX 906, that's actually the AMD Instinct MI60. And then we go, and when we see this one here, GFX 90C, this one, you see it says GP1. This is actually the integrated graphics. So that means that I don't know about this particular model, but for all my clients, I'll be able to also run it using at least on Linux, using the integrated graphics. It's able to run it as well. But you see what it decided to choose, which I do like. You see it decided to use, you see the compute, decided to use the GFX 906, which is actually what I want. And you can see it chose this one. It says the total is 32 gigs and available is 32 gigs because the GPU is not being used at all. So we're going to pay attention here. You see when it's loading up the model, it doesn't use much. It doesn't use much of the GPU. It's just loading it up, which is perfectly fine. So just wait a few seconds, and then when there's a prompt at the bottom, then we know that it's ready to start handling. We can start using that API. It's what's happening right now is it's still loading it, so I need to wait a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I already explained this. So I think we can just start working. We don't have to wait for it because I'm not going to use this prompt. I'm going to use I'm going to use the API. Looks like the API parts are ready. Okay, so let's actually get started. Let's go back to the command line here. I just need to type Python, and it's generate, I believe it is. What is generator? What's the name? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Oops. I forgot to go to DeepSeek. Yeah, I was in the wrong place. Okay, that was my fault. Python generate. Yeah, oops. Python. Okay. So while that's running, you can, wrong one. And you can see here, so it's loaded up the GPU, loading up the tensor, sorry. And it's offloading GPU, and watch, this temperature is going to bump up very, very quickly. So I'm not going to wait for it to bump up because I know I've been through this before. So I'm just going to prepare, and I'm just going to set this. You see it uses ROCm, so I already have the ROCm driver installed. I'm just going to prepare and bump up the RPMs to 50. You guys might be able to hear that sound. And you can see the temperature already bumped a little bit, and it's starting to think. Yeah, so it received, you see they received the post. And you can see the RPMs here at 8,450. I don't know why it's doing that. I think it's because when you go here, this is the one, so if I go away, it should be fine. Okay, the temperature is pretty cool. It's actually going down. That's what I want to see. Alright, so let's go and see if there's any answer yet. That's a pretty easy question. I've asked it a few times. Oh yeah, so it did actually answer the question. I'm actually blown away. Wow. It actually gave the answer immediately. It says the capital of Canada is Ottawa. Because before it would think, I'm guessing because I've asked this question 3 times, it actually got smarter. So I'm actually glad that it actually got smarter, because before it would take its sweet time. It gives like a lecture, it writes like a paragraph, lots of paragraphs. I don't care about that. Alright, so I'm going to let that temperature go down so if you guys have any questions you want me to ask it, I can ask it. Let me ask it, I don't even know how to ask, because I said that's one question I didn't ask earlier. I'm blown away that it actually answered the question. So that's actually really, I'm very happy with that. And you see it used the DeepSeek, there's only one model. So to prove to you there's only one model, you just type Alma, and you type list, and you can see I only have one model, and the model size is 19 gigabytes. I was going to say gigabits, and I see I only got it 3 days ago, and it has an ID here, so I can use any model I want. And see, this is one of the lowest. This GPU, never been that low before. So it did spike a little bit, but I said I got prepared at 50%. That's what I like to use. So how much time? Time has passed by here. So let me actually I'll just this guy back to 2%. Okay, just so don't lose my mind. So, as I said, one of the problems with running AI is that the temperature, especially when you ask to think, the temperature is going to blow up very, very quickly. So I recommend if you're going to be running AI to do it manually, because manually you can tweak it on the fly. The problem with the scripting or the automatic is it's going to be too slow. Like I said, the reason that verified my my thought process was, I said I visited a site where the CPU temperature was going way up, like 71 degrees. So so that convinced me that it's better to do it manually, because you can see what the temperatures are, and then you can quickly control it, even just briefly, like I just did right now. And you can see the temperature is slowly going to rise to about 47, because that's usually what it runs at normally. So there we go. I want to actually I don't have, let me see if I don't have a let me see if I have a prompt here. I want to see if this can let me see. I think I didn't have time to test these. Oh, you know what? I do have I actually do have a, you know what? I want to try something. I'm going to give it I'm going to ask it something. So let me say, what's a gene? Just a second. I don't know what to do. Let me see here. What's the most popular? Where's the website? Here we go. Most popular book in romance. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to ask it to do something and see how long it takes. I think 1,000 pages. No, I won't do 1,000. Let's say 200 pages. Okay, so let me just write this out. Oh, I'll put it here for you guys. So you're a professional fiction writer. Write the first chapter of a romance novel. Romance novel titled what should I call that one? The romantic programmer. The tone should be light, humorous. I'll say light. The setting should be, okay, I'll say rural. No, whatever. The main character is okay, and I want it to be, how many words should we make it? Let's make it 1,000 words long. That's just like that shouldn't be too long, okay? All right, so that's what we're gonna see. Don't worry, you guys will see this. So let's put this in here. This is gonna be our question. So I'm gonna read this to, I guess I can't use that. I'll use single quotes here instead. Okay, so it says you're a professional fiction author. Write the first chapter of a romance novel titled The Romantic Programmer. The tone should be light, the setting is rural, and the main character is Joe Biden. The chapter should be engaging and around 1,000 words long. Okay, so this is new. I've never done this before, so let's see how well this does. It's a nice little test. So again, where are we here? Where's the fan control? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna put the fan control here. I'm not gonna waste any time. I know this thing is gonna go back to 50 really fast. Is it 50%? Yes, it is. So I'm going to ramp it up to 50. Go back here. I'll clear this and get this guy running. Watch the temperature here. And we can check to see if it has been received. It should actually show up here. Oh, I think it will do when we're finished. Or when I press enter. This temperature will bump up and then it will... so we'll see if this can write something for us. 1,000, it shouldn't be a problem. 1,000 shouldn't take too long. There's actually a faster one called Llama CPP. However, it's in the Fedora repos, but I don't know if it's missing something. I couldn't get any of the clients to work with it. Maybe I'll have. The funny thing is, this one, the Alma also uses it itself. So maybe I can look at its plumbing. Okay, so what's going on here? Oh, the temperature is going up? No.